Hey, so I was messing with this tune, Angel Eyes, particularly the recording by Miss Gerald. First name, Elephants. Have you heard of Elephants Gerald? She's a very famous jazz vocalist. If you don't know, I'm just being silly, okay? You know Ella Fitzgerald, okay? Ella Fitzgerald. Do you know what her name would be if she married Darth Vader? It would be Ella Skywalker, because Darth Vader's real last name was Skywalker. So don't get any ideas. It's not elevator. But anyway, this recording is great. So look it up, you know, the tune Angel Eyes. It's like a masterclass in the various flavors of minor. So one of my pet peeves, you know, my students will tell you, whenever you're playing in a minor key and you do this on the 1 chord, a minor 7, like there's nothing wrong with a minor 7 chord, but like that's like very limiting as to how you can possibly think of a minor key. Like there's so many different minor key, like minor flavors, right? So this, of course, would work on, you know, a blues, minor blues is perfectly adequate chord, you know, Dorian, Aeolian, you know, it's just kind of natural minor. Yeah. But if it's a key of like harmonic minor, you know, as soon as you play that flat 7, you remove the possibility of the memory of that leading tone, which was the 3rd of the 5 chord, right? There's so many other flavorful chords you can play without removing the memory of that tension note, you know. Now, what's interesting is in the 30s and 40s, the tension chords were like derived usually from harmonic minor. This has the flat 6, right? And then when it resolves, they would go to a major 6. So there's all this like subtle beauty in how you can treat minor resolutions that are way more cool than this, I think. Now, this tune Angel Eyes, it does this thing. Well, in the iReal Pro or the Real Book, you know, it's A minor, just says A minor, and then it says B7, B flat 7 to A minor. A couple ways you can interpret that. I like to make the spicy chords like part of the family instead of like a throwaway chord. And there's a tonality that has there's a couple different tonalities that have an A minor and a B7 in it, and that could be the 4 and the 5 of harmonic minor. It could also be the 1 and the 2 of Hungarian minor. So if it's the
4 and the 5 of harmonic minor. It's like you're in the key of Dorian sharp 4. You know, like you can think of it like that. Very interesting sound. Now, if you're in Hungarian minor, it has a flat 6 in it and a major 7. There's an F7. What's cool about that F7? Okay. Hey, oh, she barking?
I have interviews.
Okay. All right. Okay. Lola, are you gonna bark at me? Lola, I'm going live here. All right. You want to see my dog? Come here. Come here, baby. This is Lola. She wants to be a part of the fun. So, whenever you have an F7 in it, you know, it's like F7. So, you can actually think of the F7 as part of, like, really part of the family. Of course, you know, flat 6, 5, you know, what's that? You know, like, everyone knows that sound, right? What's that song? Hit the Road Jack. That's what I'm thinking of. You can think of the F7 as part of the Hit the Road Jack progression. So if you want to integrate that F7 into part of the A minor family, that F is the flat 6, and the Stray Cats. That's right. Yeah. So the flat 7 of the F happens to be the sharp 4 of A. So it's like this 1 and this flat 7 are like a chromatic enclosure around the 5. So it's like this. There's a tune called Nika's Dream. I associate that kind of lick with that tune, Nika's Dream. So that's one cool thing about that. Now, so Hungarian minor has an F7 in it, and it has a B7 in it, right? So there's a case of the tritone sub being actually part of nature, right? You know, it's part of the tonality of A Hungarian minor. There's another instance of the tritone sub being part of nature, and that is in melodic minor. So let's say you're in A melodic minor. It would be the 7 and the 4. You know, and there's, let's see. If I were doing E altered, which is F melodic minor, it'd be E altered and E flat 7. So there's all these like really cool tonalities you can draw from instead of just plain old minor 7 flavors, you know. So you kind of build your house on these like really spicy minor tonalities. So you can even make a big deal about it. You know, so here's like a regular minor, add 2, and with a flat 6. that's like part of this chromatic embellishment of static harmony. You can think. Sorry. Come on, Lola. Dachshunds are cute, but they're very needy and very demanding. All right, so if you've got harmonic minor and melodic minor, sorry, no, harmonic minor, melodic minor, it's kind of complicated to kind of go back and forth. So you can kind of squint your eyes and think, oh, I'm just in like this generalized minor. I love experimenting that with a looper pedal just to show you what I'm talking about. So, so I'm just going to improvise in just general A minor, but not the plain ones. So I just kind of just played A minor stuff. It wasn't like necessarily thinking of a specific type of A minor. It was just generalized A minor. So maybe my target notes were the 5, the minor third, the 1, maybe the 2. You know, sometimes I was hitting the flat 6, sometimes I was hitting the major 6. I was very rarely hitting the flat 7, but a lot of times I was hitting the major 7, but resolving to the 1. So now here's what all that sounds like in, say, A minor with the flat 6. Or a major 6. Or a major. Even if it's moving. That's called the Lola, stop. That's called the cashmere chromatic embellishment of static harmony. You know, okay, that's the. And then there's another type of chromatic embellishment of static harmony. It's the Stairway to Heaven one. So that's like 1 to 7 to flat 7 to 6, but also you got the 5 to the flat 6. You know, there's all this like chromaticism in the upper tetrachord of this minor sound. So you can even play sharp 4. There's tons of like color in this. The one note that I'm really avoiding is like the flat 7 and the flat 2. Now you could, instead of putting all those notes in a blender, you can kind of segment. It's like, okay, this section I'm going to think of Hungarian minor. This section I'm going to think harmonic minor. This section I'm going to think melodic minor, which is what's cool about this tune. You can think the beginning, and then Hungarian minor, maybe. Okay, that's all Hungarian minor. Most of it, anyway. At least if you're emphasizing the Hungarian minor sound, this chord and this chord are going to be like part of the family. Oh, for crying out loud! And then it goes this. Then it does this. F sharp, half diminished, which is part of melodic minor. And then back to harmonic minor. Then it's another spicy one. So I'm thinking of opportunities rather than, okay, this is what you have to play over this chord or whatever. This is what you have to play over this chord. I'm not really thinking of it like that. I'm taking the spicy chords as opportunities to be in like cooler minor tonalities, if that makes any sense. What are you doing, Lola? Just looking out the window, I guess. Okay, any questions? Matt Dennis. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this tune, Angel Eyes, is by Matt Dennis. I need to go check him out. So, Mr. Chambers, how about that? He says Matt Dennis is a genius. Everyone should go listen to the live set where he played and sang his songs with the trio. I will do that. I should do that. I'm in melodic minor, then maybe harmonic minor. So check that. Here's another cool thing. I stole this lick from Bach. So there's this part of the B minor partita where he goes to E harmonic minor for a second, and he does this lick. So it's kind of emphasizing E harmonic minor, right? There's like a 4 diminished, and then a 1 E minor, like a B7, or you can think of it as a 7 diminished first inversion, and then a 4 minor, a 7 dominant, like shell voicing, and then kind of like resolving to E minor. What's that? Like how would I A minor? No, like that's more like a B7. Actually, Bach does this all the time. He'll do like a 5 chord, but he'll go, it's like a flat 6 to 5, and then a E minor, and then like a B with a sus, resolving to E, right? So all that you could segment, like here's the chords that he's outlining, or you kind of zoom out and think, okay, I'm in this tonality, E harmonic minor. Now if I'm playing this chord and this chord, actually let me do that. So now your ear is thinking of A as home base. And so I'm going to borrow this stuff from E harmonic minor. Does that make sense? Do stuff like this. but then it goes to that Hungarian minor 5, you know. Anyway, I think there's some really neat minor sounds that are fun to check out. So harmonic minor, melodic minor, Hungarian minor. And if you learn various shapes, you could do the 7-note method or the cage method. It doesn't really matter. As long as you've got enough muscle memory in those tonalities to where you can get outside of yourself. You can get outside of your own like hands and mind and be able to listen to what else is going on around you. And if it's not possible, I'll always play with people. Looper pedal is actually a pretty good test. You know, you practice listening to something outside of yourself, and you know, practice your blend and your time and your, you know, see what notes you gravitate to and all that. Anyway, let me play this tune one more time. I just learned it. Oh yeah, and when I go about learning a chord melody, I will check out a good recording. And as I said, I did the Ella Fitzgerald recording. I'm joking. If anyone's just chiming in, Ella Fitzgerald is, I know her real name, but I like the joke. Ella Fitzgerald. And anyway, so let me show you the chart that I made. I just basically copied the iReal Pro and I did the numbers. The number thing looks like this. So I'll write like what scale degree or what chord tone is the melody, so I can kind of target that. And then but on the recording there's like a lot of that stuff. You can go. But that stuff is also in like Green Dolphin Street, you know. And then also Jim Hall Live has this kind of vibe too. It's kind of a cool vibe instead of just. Anyway, it's all valid. No, whatever. God, crap, what am I doing? I'm looking at the screen. So 9, okay. You guys know this tune? This chord? It's a good one with the like an altered chord with the root in the melody. It's actually a sharp 5. It's like this chord, with just an octave down. Totally unnecessary. here's a cool lick. So on this F7, you can do the shell voicing like this. On this B flat, B7, you can do the same thing. I like mixing those. Anyway. All right, so someone says it's a great tip to put the chord tones you're aiming for on the chart. Yeah, it's like, it seems to be the most musical way to, for me anyway, to write a chart. I think I get my students to do this thing called a big number, little number chart. So right here, the little number is already written. It's the melody, and the big number would be. So, like the big number would be 1, you know, minor, and then 2, big 2, and then flat 2. Big 2. Does that make sense? And then 1, and then flat 6, like that. So that way you're thinking of the chord functions, like, you know, you're thinking of the harmony, what the function of the harmony is. That's the big number. The little number is the function of the melody according to the chord that you're on. So anyway, I just want to show you guys that. Any other questions? I love the comments. Thanks for the things that you're saying and your kind words. And if anyone wants to join my class, I actually I'm going to teach a class in 1 hour. So I do an online thing every Monday and Thursday. My link is to, you can see the link to my school in the description, I think. Today we've got a guest, and so I'll do mostly listening today rather than playing, so that I get my playing thing in. Anyway, I'll see you later. And if anyone's in the Dallas area, my trio is playing at Triumphs on Wednesday the 16th, from 8 to 11 at Triumphs Espresso and Whiskey, and I'll probably play this tune. Yeah, there's no cover, so yeah, come and hang out. I'd love to meet you. Triumphs Espresso and Whiskey, 8 to 11, April 16th, this coming Wednesday. It's in a couple of days, so maybe I'll see some of you there. Okay, thanks, bye.